Hi there, Mr. Holcomb here with another episode of the Math Behind the Modules. Okay, this is Lesson 18, Writing, Evaluating, and Finding Equivalent Expressions of Rational Numbers. This is going to be an introduction to using variables and what they actually represent in real-world scenarios. Okay, so in this example here, it says, John's father asked him to compare several different cell phone plans and identify which plan would be least expensive for the family. Each phone company charges a monthly fee, but this fee does not cover any services. Okay, so this monthly fee right here is just a flat rate fee, which means regardless of what services you choose, that's going to be the minimum cost every month from each company. So if I choose company A, and I have one phone line, it's going to charge me $70 plus the phone line. If I don't want unlimited texting or internet access, then those charges will not be added in. But obviously we're going to need at least a line, at least one phone line, or we don't need a phone plan. Okay, so X has to be at least one, but Y and Z can be zero. Okay, so the monthly fee is never going to change. It's always going to be there. So for company A, we are always going to be charged $70. Okay. For company B, we're always going to start out with a $90 bill. And for company C, our bill is always going to be at least $200 every month. Okay. Now let's talk about variables. Price per phone X. Well, if I have one line, then X equals 1. If I have two lines, then X equals 2. 3 lines, then X equals 3, and so on and so on and so on. So one line will cost $20. 1 times X, 1 times 1 is 20. If X is 2, then be 20 times X, or 20 times 2, so 2 lines would be $40, and 3 lines 60, 4 lines 80, 5 lines 100, and so on and so on and so on. So we have a variable representing number of phone lines, and each phone line is $20. So to our flat rate, we're going to add a $20 fee per every phone line, which is what X represents per phone line. So again, if X is 1, it's 20 times 1. If X is 2, it's 20 times 2. If X is 3, it's 20 times 3. Okay, and we continue with this. Price per line unlimited texting is Y, and it's $15 per person. So plus $15 times however many unlimited texting. And then finally, $15 for every internet access. So I'm going to add $15 for every Z, where Z is internet access. And this is where the expressions with variables starts to come into play. Okay, and continue in this fashion. Company B was $90 flat rate, $15 for every phone line. So we're going to add $15 for every phone line X. We're going to add $10 for every Y, which represents unlimited texting. And then we're going to add $20 for every Z, which represents internet access. Okay, and then company C looks like a real expensive company. They charge $200 for a flat rate for a plan, but then they charge an additional $10 for every phone line that you have. So if there's a family of 4, it'd be 10 times 4 or 40, plus the 200, which would be $240. But there would be no monthly fee for unlimited texting and no monthly fee for internet access. They just charge per line flat rate. Okay, so eventually this would be a cheaper plan than these two if you had a large number of people. Okay, so these are the 3 expressions. So it says here, all members of the family may not want identical plans, therefore we let X represent the number of phone lines, Y is the number of phone lines with unlimited texting, and Z represents the number of phone lines with internet access. So here are our 3 expressions we're going to use in this. Okay. Okay, so on the next page, using the expression above, find the cost of the family of each company's phone plan if A, okay, so now 4 people want a phone line. 4 people want unlimited texting, and the family needs 2 internet lines. So if I go back, the problem with this video is I'm going back a page, whereas in the modules, the students were able to just look on the left page, right page, they were side by side. I have to keep going back like this. Alright, so remember, price per phone line is X, unlimited texting Y, internet is Z. Okay, phone line is X, so I'm just going to put that up here so I know. Phone line is X, texting is Y, and internet access is Z. If I go back, I have to use the plan that we came up with. $70 plus 20X plus 15Y plus 15Z. 70, 20, 15. So company A is 7 plus 20X plus 15Y plus 15Z. Okay, let's go back and make sure those are right. 70, 20, 15, 15. Yes. So this is our expression we came up with on the last page. So when we're doing these problems, you always copy down the expression, substitute in your givens, and simplify. So we have 4 people who want phone lines. Well, that makes X 4. So the 70 doesn't change. 20 is here, and now X is 4. Plus 15, and then Y is unlimited texting. If you have 4 people who want unlimited texting, so Y is going to become 4. And then plus 15, and Z is internet lines, and there are 2. So my Z is going to be 2. So I took my expression, I substitute in what the family wanted. Okay, 4 phone lines, 4 unlimited texts, 2 internet lines. So it's going to be 70 plus 20 times 4, which is 80, 15 times 4, which is 60, and 15 times 2, which is 30. And then add these up. 70 plus 80 is 150, plus 60 is 210, plus 30 is 240. Okay. So company A will cost this family of 4 $240 if all 4 have a phone line with unlimited texting, but only 2 of them have it. So with that said, now we need to Now company B, I have to go back and get my formula, which is 90, 15, 10, 20. 90 plus 15x plus 10y plus 20z. 90, 15, 10, 20. I'm just verifying. 90, 15, 10, 20. Okay? So this is the expression we came up with for company B. So I bring down my 90 plus 15 times x, well x was 4, 15 times 4 plus 10 times y, 4, plus 20 times z, so it's 90 plus 15 times 4, which is 60, plus 10 times 4, which is 40, plus 20 times 2, which is 40. So if the family of 4 with these choices chose company B, 90 plus 60 is 150, plus 40 is 190, plus 40 is 230. Okay? So at this point, if I were the one making the decision, company A is out, because I will save $10 if I go with company A. But we're not done. We have to see if company C can be better than company B. So now I'm going to go back to company C, which was $200 plus 10x. Remember, the reason there was no Y or Z was because they included in their monthly fee unlimited texting and internet access. So it's $200 plus 10x. $200 plus 10x. So it's 200 plus 10x. 200 never changes. X is number of phone lines, and there's 4, so that's going to be 4. So it's $200 plus 10 times 4 is 40, which is a total of $240. So this one is out. So it says, which cell phone company should John's family use and why? I would say company B, and because it is $10 cheaper than A and C. Everybody wants to save money, so we save $10 and then go with company B. This family. Okay. Now let's just see if a different family with different needs is going to come up with different results. So now we have 4 people who want a phone call. That's X. 4 people want unlimited texting. Y. And all 4 people want internet. Z. Okay. So now I'm just going to leave this like this, so I can just look up here at my formulas. They're the same. 70 plus 20x. Always write the formula down first. Never cut corners in math. The more thorough you are, the less chance of error. So first thing we do is write the formula. Then we substitute in the givens. X is 4. Y is 4. And Z is 4. All 4. So it's going to be 70 plus 20 times 4, which is 80, plus 15 times 4, which is 60, plus 15 times 4, which is 60. So 70 plus 80 is 150, plus 60 is 210, plus 60 is 270. Okay, so this family's decision cost them 270. Now we're going to go with company B, and that is $80 plus 15x plus 10y plus 20c. So it's 90 plus, substitute in the givens, 15 times 4 plus 10 times 4 plus 20 times 4. Okay, 4 people, 4 people. So 90 plus 15 times 4 is 60 plus 10 times 4 is 40 plus 20 times 4 is 80. 90 plus 60 is 150 plus 40 is 190 plus 80 is $270. So company A and company B are equal this time. Okay, now let's go up to company C, and it's just simply $200 plus $10 for every person. So $200 plus 4 people on a phone line, $10 times 4 people is $200 flat rate, plus $40 for the 4 people, and that totals $240. So in this scenario, even though with the formula seeing a $200 flat rate, company C is actually the cheapest company in this scenario. So which phone company should John's family use and why? Company C, because A and B were $30 more per month. Okay? Now the bell's going to ring, so we can pause this and I'll come back. Okay. I'm back. So now we have another scenario. 2 people want a phone line. 2 want a phone line. 2 want unlimited texting. And the family needs 2 internet access, X, Y's, and Z's. So now we're going to substitute these in. So I've already brought in the formulas that we used prior. So it is going to end up being 70 plus 20, and X is 2 for this scenario, plus 15 times Y, which is 2, plus 15Z, which is also 2. So it would be 70 plus 40 plus 15 times 2 is 30, plus 15 times 2 is 30. 70 plus 40 is 110, plus 30 is 140, and plus 30 is 170. Plan A would cost this family $170. These, just a moment. Okay. Now let's do the next one. So we have The same scenario here, where x is 2, y is 2, and z is 2. So it'll be 90 plus 15 times 2 plus 10 times 2 plus 20 times 2. So it'll be 90 plus 15 times 2 is 30, plus 10 times 2 is 20, plus 20 times 2, which is 40. 90 plus 30 is 120, plus 20 is 140, plus 40 is 180. Okay, so right now that's more expensive than A, so the answer will not be B. Which cell phone company should they use? It will not be B. So let's see if C is cheaper than A. So it's 200 plus 10 times X, which is 2, 10 times 2, that's going to cost 220, or 200 plus 20, show all my work, which is $220. That is the most expensive, so I will not use that. So the answer to my problem will be, which cell phone company should this family use? They should use company A, because they will save $10 compared to or over plan B, company B. And save 220, 170 is a big difference. That is a $50 savings over company C. Okay, here's exercise 2. After taking some time, the students would have done this on their own. So here's the explanation. 3 friends went to the movies. Each purchased A medium's popcorn, P. Okay, let's use a different color for that. Medium-sized popcorn, P. And a small soft drink, S. Write the expression that represents the total amount of money in dollars the 3 friends spent at the concession stand. So we're going to take 3 people, and all 3 of them bought popcorn and soda. And that's it. That's the formula. Okay. B says if the concession stand charges $6.50 for a medium-sized popcorn, okay, and $4 for a small drink. $4 for a small drink. Okay, so let me color code these as well. So again, let's use green for popcorn. Popcorn, $6.50, and soft drink, $4. Right? So I'm going to use this formula. So it will be the 3 people times P, which is $6.50, okay, plus S, which is $4, okay, and then we're going to solve this. Now there's 2 ways to do this. I will do it both ways. One way is to do the distributive property and multiply 3 times $6.50 and get 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 5 is 15, with a 1 carried over. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 1 is 19. Okay, and then multiply the 3 times the 4, and that would be $12. So $19.50 plus 12 is $31.50. Okay, the other way we could have done it, let me just do this again. 3, $6.50 plus the $4. Okay, we can use PEMDAS instead of the distributive property. PEMDAS says to do operations inside parentheses first. That's what the P in PEMDAS stands for. So that's what we will do. 3 times $6.50 plus 4 is $10.50. And then multiply 3 times $10.50. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 3 times 0 is 0. Plus 1 is 1. 3 times 1 is 3. And don't forget your decimal. And as you can see, they are the same answer regardless of the format we use. Okay, exercise 3. Complete the table below by writing the equivalent expressions to the given expression and evaluate the expression with the given values. So they gave us an example. X is 2, y is negative 1, and then they gave us a formula. Gave us another formula, and gave us a third formula. What they want us to do is plug in the values of the variables and solve. Okay, and they solved these different ways. This way they did the distributive property. Okay. Actually, this is PEMDAS, and this is the distributive property, and so forth. Okay. So now let's do this one here. 5 times 3 minus 4y, and y is 1. So the first thing I do is rewrite the problem with my y substituted in, just like that. Okay, so this is do the inside operation first. I'm going to show all my work. I'm only going to do one step at a time. And PEMDAS says to multiply, then add, subtract, so I'll multiply first. 3 minus 4 times 1 is 4. And then finally, 5 times 3 minus 4 is negative 1. Happen to all that. It just erases the piece. Okay. And then 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. Okay. Equivalent expressions of this one now over here. All they did was distribute 4x plus 8y. So if I distribute this, I would have 15 minus 5 times 4y, which is 20y. Okay, so there's our distributed expression. And then I plug in my negative 1 for y. My positive. So then we multiply first. 15 times minus 20 times 1 is 20. 15 minus 20 is the negative 5, and we got the same answer. Now this one, they're just writing it out repeatedly. So I'm going to write 5. So this was 4x plus 2y times 4, and they did 4y, 4y. Splitting that up. Okay, I'm not really sure why they did this, but anyhow. If I multiply this 5 times 3 and get 15, let's see, how can we do this? 5 times 3 is 15. Okay. And then we can split this 4y up into 2, so that's what they did here. Cut this in half and said it was, instead of 8y, it's 4y plus 4y. Okay. So if I did it with this, it'd be 15 minus 10y minus 10. Okay. Because 5y times 4y is 20y, and they're just showing 2 sets of y's, so that's what they wanted us to do. So this is the same as this. Minus 20y is the same as minus 10y minus 10. And now plug in that 1. That's so. And PEMDAS says to do multiplication first and then addition, subtraction. So 15 minus 10 times 1, which is 1, or 10. Minus 10 times 1, which is 10. And then if we have all addition, subtraction, we work left to right. 15 minus 10 is 5 minus 10. Okay, and then 5 minus 10 is negative. Okay, so evaluating negative 3x plus 12y when x equals 5 and y equals negative 2. We're going to substitute in, and it's just going to, that first step is just the substitution part, where x is 5, so we're going to replace the x with the 5, plus 12, and then y is negative 2, so it's times negative 2. Now in showing my work, order of operations says to multiply first, and then add and subtract. So negative 3 times 5 is negative 15, plus 12 times negative 2 is negative 24. So now I have a negative 15 plus a negative 24. So we just add them and take the sign that's negative. And 24 plus 15 is 39. And since they're both negative, it stays negative. Negative plus negative is negative. Okay. The other way we can do this is we can distribute, we can factor out a 2, or 3, I'm sorry, factor out a 3. So I start off by taking a 3 out of that, then I would have negative x plus 4y inside. So all I did was divide both pieces by 3. And then once we do this, then I can substitute in my negative x, or my 5. So now negative x is now negative 5, plus 4 times y, which is negative 2. Okay. So now I'm going to do the order of operations. So the 3 is going to be the last thing we do, so I do that. And then I'm not going to address the 5 right now because we have a multiplication here. 4 times a negative 2 is negative 8. So now I have a negative 5 plus a negative 8, which is negative 13. And now I multiply 3 times negative 13, I get negative 39. And they are equal. Another way we can represent negative 3x plus 12y would be break down that negative 3x. There's 3 of them, so it would be negative x, which is minus 3 x's, and then plus 4y 3 times. Okay, so 4y plus 4y is 12y. So this is still equivalent to the original. And then if we substitute in now, we'd have negative 5 minus 5 minus 5 plus 4 times y, which is negative 2, plus 4 times y, which is negative 2, plus 4 times negative 2. Okay, so we're going to do the multiplication first, so I'm going to leave those minus 5s alone for now. And now it's plus 4 times negative 2, which is negative 8, plus 4 times negative 2, which is negative 8, and I forgot my 4 here, and plus 4 times negative 2. Should be a 4 times negative 2 here, so plus negative 8. Okay, so now adding, subtracting, PEMDAS says we're left to right. So negative 5 minus 5 is negative 10, minus 5 more is negative 15, plus negative 8, and another negative 8 is negative 16, and another negative 8 is negative 24. Negative 15 plus a negative 24 is negative 30. Negative 39. In this one here, it says to evaluate, and they gave us the negative 2x plus 10x minus 6y in the last column. So what I want to do is factor out a 2 to come up with my new problem here. So if I take a 2 out of everything, negative 2x divided by 2 is a negative x. So you can also check it by multiplying it back. 2 times negative x is negative 2x. Plus 2 times something equals 10x, that would have to be 5x, minus 2 times something equals 6y, would be 3y. So we're up. This is what we have here. Now this minus 5x plus 5x, they're like terms, is what that's called. So I can combine them, and a minus 1 plus 5 is a 4x minus 3y. So now I have a binomial times this 2 here. Now we can substitute in our values. So it's 2 times 4 times x, which is negative 1/2, plus minus 3 times y, which is 1. Okay. Order of operation says do multiplication first. So 4 times a negative 1/2 is negative 2. Minus 3 times 1, which is 3. And then parentheses come first. Negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5. And we get negative 10. Alright, so if I were to do this problem here, I probably should have done this first, but we should get the same answer. And I get negative 1/2. Negative 2 times negative 1/2 plus 10 times negative 1/2 minus 6 times 1. So a negative times a negative is positive. 2 times a half is 1. 10 times a positive times a negative is negative. 10 times a half is 5. And then minus 6 times 1, which is 6. 1 minus 5 is negative 4. Minus 6 is negative 10. Now we can take this here and distribute and get 2 times 4x, which is 8x, and 2 times 3y, which is 6y. So now we can simply just say that that is 8x minus 6y. Plugging in the negative 1/2 for x and the 1 for y, we get 8 times positive times a negative is negative. 8 times 1/2 is 4. Minus 6 times 1. 4, negative 4 minus 6 is negative 10. Okay? So there was a lesson on substitution, distributive property, and order of operations, getting the same answer with similar types of functions. Now go do your problems.